Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Let's Chat Reality. I'm Molly,
I'm Michael.
and today we're very excited to be discussing week 4 of Love Island season 8, Casa week. So, lots that went on this week. But before we get into all of it, Michael, what were your thoughts overall?
Yeah, going into Casa, I was excited for this season because it felt like we had a lot of couples that were relatively strong. Like compared to last season where we basically went into Casa with like no couples at all whatsoever that had any strength, it was kind of the opposite this season. And so I thought, okay, it lends itself to kind of a slower start of the season, but then at least relatively speaking to the last couple. But it I thought was going to lend itself to a really exciting Casa Amor week potentially because you have a lot of relationships that are actually going to be tested, and I think it delivered. Look, I think this was a really really good week of episodes, and even I feel like for people who were maybe a little down on the season, I think it brought, especially last night's episode, I think really brought this season right back to life.
Oh, I agree. I feel like, especially Friday night's episode, that was an incredible cinema of TV. But I feel like as a whole, like as what you're saying, like the fact that there were pretty strong couples going into it, like made for there to be more drama. Obviously, with the recoupling and potential for that with Casa Week, so that was fun to see all that unfold. But then, so going back to the beginning of the week before we jump ahead all the way to what actually happened. We had the casa started with when all the girls were seeing the boys do the hearts on fire at casa because they thought the boys were going to be coming out to the villa, but then they all left. They went to casa and then they were kissing all the new bombshells. So they got to see it front and center on their TV screens back at the villa, which we kind of discussed this a little bit already, but just overall, just seeing that, I feel like really did ignite something in the girls to want to explore and just kind of forget in a way that those boys existed. Hopefully, for some of them more than others, but wanting to explore at least to see what the connections could be from the boys who came in as bombshells for Casa Week as well. So, what did you think about that?
Oh my god, whoever decided on this twist, give them a raise, give them whatever they want. I hope you have all the good luck in the world because this was brilliant. This was such a perfect way to really get these girls to not just close off to the bombshells and not really give them a fair chance and be like, oh, I don't know what he's doing. So I don't want to be the one to mess up and kiss someone else, and then they decide to stick with me, and then I look like an asshole. So I feel like there would have maybe been a little bit more of that if we hadn't started the way we did, where these girls got to see what the guys were saying. I mean, especially Corbin, I feel like more than any of them, as was very much mentioned during the recoupling, was really immediately just saying Kenzie out the window and just fully forgot she ever existed. And it was great that Kenzie got to see that and then fully go 100% in on living the Casa experience.
Yeah.
And I just thought this was a really, really fun way to start the week. And it lent itself to a great episode. I think Casa started really strong and ended really strong. And it was good in the middle too, but I think the start and the end were really the highlights.
Yes, I agree. I feel like just as a whole, like especially having the mics on, like that was crazy. I thought they
I
wouldn't.
was surprised by that.
Yeah.
I thought they were just going to be able to see it but not hear it. And then when they started kind of like repeating things they were saying, I was like, "Oh, wait a minute. They can hear too."
I know, which
Great.
crazy that now when the guys came back in, they were shocked because they didn't know that, which was also
Oh my
great.
god. I kind of forgot like when they started to like mention the hearts on fire, I like somehow just kind of forgot that the guys still didn't know about that. And so then when like Caleb kind of looked confused, I was like, "Oh my god, this is even better than I thought it was going to be the recoupling because now we're going to also get their reactions to hearing that the girls got to hear that." Like, "Oh my god, this is brilliant. This is great."
Yeah, no, for sure. Great idea. Whoever that producer was, they definitely need a raise.
Keep them.
Yes.
Keep them.
And then the other slight twist we saw this week was that they brought 12 guy bombshells in for the girls, letting them choose to keep six. So, what do you think about having the 12 and then them choosing?
This for me was a little bit of a flop, I will say. It wasn't terrible. I just think like the problem was that okay, we're seeing them talk to all these 12 guys. We don't know any of them.
Yeah.
We don't know their names. We don't know who they are. Like, why do I care which six stay and which six go? Like, I guess it was good for them. Sure, they started a day late, so give them a little bit of more options. Like, they really wanted these girls to fully like find connections at Casa, and this was maybe a good way to make sure that that happened because who knows, like would if the other six had stayed or if there had been a mix of some and some of the others like would we have gotten such would it have turned out completely differently, who knows, but I think that they probably if they're going to try to do something like this in the future like maybe tweak it a little bit, like maybe let the 12 of them stay for like a full day. I don't know, where would they sleep? I don't know. But like maybe give them a little bit more of a chance. And like I don't know, we didn't get to see like why they chose the ones they chose. Like we saw like very basic like conversations. They were maybe there for like, I don't know, an hour or two. Like it just didn't feel like it was long enough for them to really like get to know them and make informed decisions, but it also was too quick to where like we the audience didn't get to know them. So I don't know. I feel like there's maybe something there, but like tweak it a little bit to make it a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree. It did feel really rushed because we didn't really see that. Like it was just like, okay, here they are, and now you have to choose in less than a day. Like you didn't get to know them that well, and
Hmm.
it was a lot of names. Obviously, I don't remember everyone there, but like some of the guys did seem nice, and I don't know why they didn't choose them. Like when did they talk to each other, and like did everyone get a chance to talk to everyone? Like probably not because there were too many people. So because of that, it did seem like I don't know exactly how they were to choose the six that they chose to stay. But I mean, I liked the six that they chose, so I guess that wasn't harmful there. But we
Yeah.
didn't get to know them that well.
And then also, I think because of that, we didn't get like, with the girls when they walked in, we got little intro videos of them. And like, we didn't get that with the guys. And so I think also the way they did it kind of, it took me a little bit longer to like remember the guys' names. Like, even after the six of them left, like, I feel like it with the girls, because of the way they did it, I remembered them more quickly. Whereas the guys, like it was maybe a couple episodes into Casa before I actually remembered any of their names or who they were because we never really got like intros for any of them.
Yeah, no, for sure. I missed that because I know we were talking about how we saw all the intros for the girls, and that was surprising. And then they wouldn't get that for the guys. So
Yeah.
hopefully, I mean, now we have some of the Casa boys now in the villa, so we'll know them better now. But
Oh, by now I
yeah,
know them, but like it just I think it took a little bit. It was like halfway through before I actually felt like invested in the guys and remembered who they were and who each one was kind of talking to, and so I just think that it was a good idea. Like, try different things. I appreciate them trying new things, and I think there's maybe something there, but just it could, I think, be tweaked a little bit if they're going to try something like that in the future.
yeah, for sure. But we'll see what happens next season if they continue that or change it up again. But now let's get into each of these Islanders here. So we're gonna start with Jen. So Jen and Caleb were like forced as a couple, so they were the happiest going into this Casa week. They both had the pick of the litter of who they wanted to couple up with. So starting with Jen, we saw that her first connection was with Gall, who fellow Houstonite. So that's fun to see.
Not
And
only fellow Houstonite, he went to my high school,
yeah,
my little private high school with 60 people in my class. So Galt was a year younger than me. So I didn't know him well, but I certainly knew who he was. He has like five siblings, and none of them were in my class, but like three of them were there at the same time. And, within the 4 years that I was there. So I did not even like immediately recognize him when he first walked up, but then when he mentioned that he was from Houston, I was like, wait, I know a Gaul from Houston that one time. Really, like, let me go look and see like online. I go, okay, what is his last name? And I was like, oh my god, I do definitely know him. So that was very weird and cool to see. But yeah,
Yeah.
he was just talking to Jen and didn't get a lot of screen time immediately.
No.
It took until really like the last episode before the recoupling that we got to see a little bit more of him when he started to get in a little triangle with Kenzie.
Yeah, no, definitely. And also, I like how his siblings have like a roasting account for him, basically, that has
Hmm.
more followers than his own Instagram account now.
That's
Um,
funny. I didn't know that.
yeah,
That's
it has
funny.
like almost 11,000 followers on that account, and he's still at like 5,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know if he's gotten more now that he's actually coming back, but oh, spoiler alert. But yeah, so basically, he
There's no
did
spoilers.
the
If
and
I don't think anyone's watching or listening to this who hasn't watched the
I
episodes. If you
know.
are, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes.
But I would say 99% of people watching this have know what's going on.
True. So we're excited to see Gal back in the villa. But before that happened, he was, as you mentioned, in a love triangle in a way with Kenzie and Jen. So he seems that he does want to continue talking to Kenzie too, but then also still likes Jen. But because he was open and talking about that with Jen, that obviously then was gonna upset her with knowing that he wasn't fully invested with her. But then she did try to explore Ronnie, but ultimately she did feel like she had a stronger connection with Gaul, so that's why she chose him to couple up with to bring him back into the villa.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised to be honest with you. I felt like okay, towards the end we saw her more with Ronnie, and I kind of thought that what was going to happen was that Jen was going to choose Ronnie, and then we were going to get this deliberation for Kenzie, like is she going to choose Gaul or is she going to choose Dylan? And then when Jen chose Gaul, I was like, oh, okay, well now we know what Kenzie's going to do for sure. But I mean I was happy just because I guess most people watching this maybe didn't care who Jen chose or maybe was kind of hoping she would choose Ronnie, but just my personal bias was happy that Gall was able to stay longer. But I mean, I don't know. I don't get the sense that like they have a deep connection, Jen and Gall. If he seems very surface level, just like they kind of find each other attractive and are kind of the same similar vibes. So I guess we'll see now, maybe now that they're back in the villa and different environment, there's been like I feel like once you choose each other, or one of you chooses the other, then like it solidifies things a little bit. And so now I think maybe they'll both feel a little bit more comfortable that they can get deeper with each other, have deeper conversations, that maybe they're not both going to be kind of looking in a lot of other directions and they can really like solidify their connection. So we'll maybe see a little bit of a deeper side of them moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. I also wanted him to move on just so that we could see more of him, but also wasn't sure about the connection they had formed. But I mean, it will be interesting now to see with if it still continues with the love triangle, if he's still trying to talk to Kenzie and how that goes now being back all together again still. So I'm interested to see about that. But I do like Kenzie with Dylan, so I'm like I want Gald and Jen to form a
Yeah.
stronger connection. So maybe they just need some more time. Like maybe it just needs some time to develop. It's only been a few days, and there was some uncertainty, but especially because like they haven't been a full couple yet. So now that they are, maybe they'll explore more and like actually develop a stronger connection there.
That's what I kind of expect to happen, but I do wonder if Gaul and Kenzie do continue to talk, is that going to affect Kenzie and Jen's friendship?
Yeah, that's what I
Because we
mean.
see it like Jen kind of made some comment like I don't know why Kenzie's still exploring Gaul. She like Dylan's exactly her type, and he seems really into her. Like she was kind of a little confused and looking at Kenzie a little sideways. So I do wonder if that continues. Is that going to then kind of affect their friendship moving forward as well?
Yeah, no, I can definitely see maybe that could happen if Kenzie doesn't pull off, but maybe she will because she'll appreciate the friendship there. So we'll have to see what happens on
I
that
think she
side.
will. That's my
Yeah,
guess.
I think she will too. But now let's talk about Caleb. So he first wanted to chat with Parmita, but then she wanted to be with Corbin, so she kind of just left him right away. But then
A
he started
story as old as time.
exactly. He always has someone who wants to be interested in Corbin instead.
Yeah.
But then he also gets to explore Jaden, and they form a strong connection. So he brings her back. So what did you think about Caleb this week in Casa?
Yeah, I mean, I felt bad for Caleb when yet again the same exact thing happens that he couples up with someone who ends up getting stolen away by Corbin. But yeah, I mean, his connection with Jaden, I don't know. I feel like we didn't see much of it. And the conversations we saw, similar to kind of Gall and Jen, were very surface level. Like, I don't see that they have a super strong connection. They both seem like very nice people, and I hope that they will form a strong connection now. But from what we saw, it feels very much like if any bombshell came in, if there was any sort of connection with anyone else, that I think either of them should continue to explore because I don't know that there's like a super strong foundation here at the current time.
I agree. I think that they would both explore if they had the opportunity to, but as of now, from what we've seen, seems like they get along and they have kissed outside of their challenges. So at least they have that physical contraction there, and seems to be that they could form something if they pursue it. But if not, then they probably will have options elsewhere too. So we'll just have to see what happens for them. But now let's get into some more of the drama of the couples who were already existing couples now maybe
Yeah. We're
splitting.
going in the order of the recoupling, by the way.
Yes,
So that's how we're doing this, is exactly in the same order that they did the recoupling.
yes, exactly. So first we get to see, well, after Jen and Caleb, then we get to see Corbin and Kenzie. So first we'll start Corbin and Casa. He did, as we said, like he was coupled with, or not coupled, they slept together, but him and Jaden. And then
Yeah, did
after,
we see them talk at all
I
before sleeping? Like,
no,
I think they just literally were kind of like leftovers. Like, okay, I guess we'll sleep together the
I know
first
they
night.
didn't choose to be in the bed together, but they just had to be. But then because then the next day he was able to chat with Permita, then they form a stronger connection. So then they they form their bond, and eventually he does bring her back into the villa. But I feel like as we were just saying that because of all the stuff that was happening with the video and him talking pretty lowly about Kenzie and that, and all the girls seeing that, he was definitely getting the right amount of verbal of conversations happening towards him when he came back in with Permita. So, what did you think about that?
I loved every second of it. I was just eating it up. I thought that he got exactly what he deserved. I mean, for him to say, like, I haven't thought about Kenzie at all since I got here, like, I mean, it's just so douchey and so, like, just, ugh, it just gives me the ick. Like, the fact that he was telling Kenzie exactly what she wanted to hear the whole time they were in the villa, and then as soon as she's away and he finds somebody who he likes better, he just completely forgot she ever existed. But one thing I will say is the Corbin impressions on TikTok are giving
Great.
me so much joy. So because of that, I am so grateful that he has been here. But I do not like him as a person on this show. So I loved seeing all the girls just completely just hand him everything that he deserved. But I thought it was interesting with Parmita, the fact that she had messaged him on Instagram before. I don't know how long before this it was. I don't think she said, but at some point when she was moving to Miami, that she wanted to work out with him, and then they followed each other, like going into this. But he seemed to have zero memory of it, which again, just to me, shows how much he puts into his relationships. Like he doesn't even remember they follow each other. They had a full conversation, and he had absolutely no idea who she was. Like, I don't blame him necessarily for not immediately recognizing her, but once he knew the name, once they started talking, zero recollection. I don't think even when he said he remembered it, he doesn't remember it. He has absolutely no memory.
Well, I was hearing some rumors. I mean, I don't know if it's rumor, people just making this up about that they might know each other before. Like they're like playing it down. They
They
didn't.
know each other. Yeah.
Like maybe they had met, and then they were like, he's lying about not remembering because he doesn't want it to seem that they know each other.
Is this a Shelley and Ace situation?
That's what I'm wondering. I don't know. I don't know if
Hmm.
I see because I feel like they did get have those get to know you kind of questions that like I feel like they would have skipped if they did know each other.
Hmm.
But I don't know. We'll have to see. I
I
mean,
don't know
I don't
that
want them
either
to
of them are
mess.
good enough actors.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Like, I don't know. I think that these conspiracy theories, unless there's like something substantive to prove that, I don't know that I believe it. I think that it's probably to the extent that Parmita said. Like, she messaged him. They probably had a DM conversation or multiple conversations on DM, but it was probably a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever. And maybe hadn't spoken since at all. And so Corbin has probably lived a lot of life since then, I guess we'll call it, and has no memory of her
Yeah,
for somehow.
true. So we'll have to see if they continue. But it was funny hearing Trinity say that it would not last. She was like, "Oh, I forget exactly what did she say."
See, oh yeah, I don't remember the wording of
Oh,
what she said, but like she was like, I wouldn't trust
oh,
him.
I
Like,
wouldn't trust him. Yeah,
yeah, I think they were all kind of saying things like that, but I think that they will make it a point, or at least he will make it a point to make sure it does work, to spite all the other girls now.
I
Like,
know.
even if he wasn't planning to do it before, and like maybe he was still planning to like explore his options, which I really don't know that there are going to be much options moving forward, because I don't think, other than the Casa bombshells who will return, who were sent home, I don't know that they're going to have any other new bombshells come in. At least last season they didn't after Casa, so it makes me think that like this is kind of like a happy medium that they're going to bring back to Casa bombshells, but they're not going to bring in anyone completely new.
Yeah,
So I don't know that he's going to have like a ton of new options to turn his head away from Parmita. But I think right now his plan is probably like, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to be with her as long as we're in here, because everyone wants to think that isn't going to work, and I'm going to prove them wrong.
yeah. That I mean, I can see that happening, but America hates them. So I don't know if there's a voting
Yeah.
situation, then I don't think they would last.
I think that the kind of forgettable couples will probably go before them, like
Which
the Jen and Gauls, unfortunately. Maybe I feel like people like Caleb, but maybe the like Caleb uh
Jaden,
and Jaden would maybe go before them. And then it'll be like the Casey and TT, Corbin and Parmita, like, and those will be the next ones to go after that.
yeah, yeah, probably that's right. So we'll have to see what happens with them. But also, Kenzie during class, like she gets to connect with Dylan the first night, and as we were saying, she also gets to chat with Gal and likes him too. And that upset Jen, so we'll have to see if that continues. But as we're predicting, we don't know if that will, just for their friendship purposes. But Kenzie does choose, which wasn't unexpected here since Jen had already chosen Gal, that she does choose to keep couple up with Dylan, brings him back into the villa. So I'm excited to see that. And I really do like Kenzie and Dylan together. So I'm hoping that they will last and continue to form a strong connection.
Yeah, I really like Dylan. I think that Kenzie and Dylan together are going to be a pretty good couple, as long as Kenzie can like fully put her like full focus onto Dylan and not kind of be a little bit looking at Gaul. I could also see a world, unfortunately, where maybe like as enough time passes, maybe she softens towards Corbin and is kind of like, as she's like kind of looking at him, like maybe thinking of all the good times. Like, I hope not. I hope she sticks with her guns and just like fully forgets he ever existed. But I knowing Kenzie, well, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, she has not spoken to Zach one word since night one.
Yeah.
So maybe she is just like, she does hold a grudge, I guess. So maybe I'm wrong and that won't be an issue. But I think if she and Dylan can fully like 100% put their focus to each other, I like their dynamic from what we saw in Casa. So I really think that they have a good chance of being a pretty strong couple.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I really hope she does not go back to Corbin. I feel like hopefully
Do
he's
you
made
think
it
there's any
clear.
possibility of that?
I don't think so. As you were saying that, I was like, I mean, maybe there's like a 1% chance, but I don't think so because I think Corbin's still like so infatuated with Parmita, and so he's not going to turn his head back. Hope, I
Oh,
mean,
I'm not saying he will. I
oh
don't
yeah,
know that he will, but I
Mackenzie.
think I could see a world where she kind of is maybe a little bit wanting that.
No, but I think because she's gonna see how much he's into Parmita,
Oh,
then she's gonna get the ick even more. That's like,
true.
oh, I don't want to be someone's second option. Like that's not what I
Yeah.
want. So she wants to feel that the wanted. She wants to be chased like a gazelle, uh, as she likes to say. So I think Dylan is doing that for her. So I'm hoping that they can continue, and we'll see what happens there.
hmm Do you think Dylan likes her doing the splits?
I think so. I mean, he doesn't said anything in opposition, so
hmm
sounds like
I
it's
loved, and
good.
my favorite thing was when the captions, and I don't have captions on when I watch usually, but I saw this online that it was the night right after the heart rate challenge where Kenzie does the splits, and the caption says, "Does the splits defiantly,"
Yeah,
and that was my favorite thing. I love now the expression of doing the splits defiantly.
that's funny. I saw someone say, I was just looking at TikTok this morning that she didn't do any splits in last night's episode because it was too intense. Like,
Mm.
she didn't have time to do a split.
I feel like there's a form of splits that she should be able to do in dramatic, serious situations. The serious splits, like she needs to do like a whole book of like different types of splits that you do in different situations.
Yeah.
And so I think there should be a type of splits that is meant for a dramatic recoupling.
Yeah, well, we have to request that from Kenzie. She can hear our cries of wanting the split.
How many cameos do you think she's going to do doing the splits?
Oh, so many.
So many.
So
Oh
many.
my god.
That's
That
gonna
is
be so
going
funny.
to she's not going to have any other form of income.
Yeah, well, she can monetize that.
She
Good for her.
should. She should.
Yeah. Well, now let's get into Zach and Kata. So we go into the week, they seem like they're doing pretty well. There's some arguments that they're having, but overall, like I still thought they would come back together. But when we first get to Casa, Zach does connect with Alana early, but she does keep a wall up a little bit. But then eventually, or he does keep a wall up a little bit, and then eventually he does decide just to go back to Kata
I
because
think they both do.
yeah, they both
Honestly,
do.
because I think like she had just seen him go into the hideaway, which
Yeah,
I think was maybe a little bit of a thing for her not wanting to, or not wanting, but like thinking that he was not going to be all in because he had just kind of taken his relationship with Kata to the next level, and then he's also keeping a wall up because of the same reason.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I know it's interesting to see like when these Casa girls come in, like they know everything, and so also the boys, like
I forget that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah, like
I like that it's live because it's real time.
right. No, me too. It's crazy like that cuz most shows even when they bring people in late, they've had them in sequester the whole time.
Hmm.
But or they're not live and so people coming in haven't seen anything. But that's what makes Love Island so unique is that they do watch and so you start to kind of as the show goes on also see people start to treat the fan favorites different a little bit differently like and that's why I think if there is a new bombshell that comes in potentially after Casa, I think people like Anaya, maybe Casey will start treating her a little differently. People might, I don't know. I don't know who this season necessarily is like being mistreated, who is a fan favorite, besides like just their couple not treating them well necessarily, the man in the
Yeah,
relationship.
yeah,
But, like, is there anyone like remember Amaya last season? Like she was kind of
yeah.
like a lot of the guys were like Ace and some of the others were Chris. like were really kind of being pretty nasty towards her. And then once they did that challenge where they had them rank, the audience ranked them in terms of how popular they were, suddenly she was first on there, and all these guys suddenly want to be the nicest people in the world to her. So I don't know that this season we quite have that yet,
Yeah.
but
I don't think there's
it,
anyone that's really getting that kind of heat necessarily. I mean, I guess like Soul kind of in a way, but she was coming in as a bombshell, so it was a little bit different
mhm.
with that. But yeah, it feels like none of the guys are like ganging up on any of the girls like they did with
Yeah,
like
because like people love Bryce and Trinity are probably the fan favorites, I would say right now, but
yeah,
people like them. So I don't
yeah.
know that like having an audience poll like that would necessarily change much in terms of that, other than like I think right now, if it were to be done right now, probably Anaya would be like number one, so that to send Casey a message that we love her and don't love him and TT.
Oh yeah, for
But
sure.
anyway, sorry, I don't
Yeah.
even know how I started getting on that tangent, but
No, you're good. Well, so
back to
going
Kate.
back to Zach and Alana, Alana did tell Zach how she met his brother Charlie at a party and then went on a date with him. So that could also be a little bit why maybe she's not trying to explore as heavily there too. Also, the hideaway comment I think was more prevalent there. But there were resurfaced videos of Alana saying the N word, so she was removed from the villa right before the recoupling. So it was interesting that they didn't even announce that. Like it just like she just
They
did.
did.
Oh, they said it.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
very. I mean, what they do on Love Island is like, which is crazy. Like, I feel like on most shows, like when Luke was removed on BB 25, like they had a whole like thing where everybody got together and they read a note and they started crying and blah blah blah. Like with Love Island, it's like Alana was removed from Casa Amor, and it's like we moved on. Like just like right after commercial, he just like kind of in
oh,
just like sandwiched in the middle of whatever else he was saying. He was like, "Oh, also Alana was removed," and it's like, "Oh my god, you could so easily miss that because a lot of times I fast forward 10 seconds, like as we're kind of going into
yeah.
commercial, coming out of commercial, like I kind of fast forward a little bit to that, especially on long episodes." And if I had done that at that moment, it just so happened not to. But because I think I was expecting him to make
Oh,
that type of announcement at some point, so I wanted to not miss it. But otherwise, like I would have very easily just completely missed that.
yeah. No, I didn't hear it, so I did miss it. But yeah, so I'm glad she was removed, but also it did seem that Zach was gonna choose Kata anyways. So it was
Hmm.
interesting just that it just happened that way. But then going into Kata, she does connect quickly with Che. They had good conversations, but she was hesitant to actually go too far because she still had Zach in the back of her mind. And then in particular, then Kata got pretty upset though, seeing that they had a special delivery that had Zach kissing Alana outside of a challenge. So that made Kata think, oh no, like Zach did turn his head. Like, what am I doing here? Like, he doesn't actually want to be with me. So that really shifted her perspective. So that was dirty what the producers said to her there. But ultimately, they do stay together. So they are very happy to be recoupled back together and hopefully they continue to be strong together.
Yeah, I think what really like hit Kata the most seemed to be the fact that she thought it was the first night that
Oh
they
yeah.
were kissing outside of the challenge, but it wasn't. And she thought because he was like wearing the same pants that he was wearing or something like that, and she was kind of also in like a sparkly top that I think looked similar to what she was wearing like in the angel costume during Hearts on Fire, but it actually wasn't. It was like the night before she saw it, and so that I think maybe if she had known the context of when that was, maybe it would have like been a little bit less upsetting to her. Probably still, I mean, she probably still would have been really upset because she hadn't kissed anyone outside of a challenge. But I think the fact that she thought he moved on so quickly was kind of getting in her head a little bit too.
Yeah, oh for sure.
But
So
I loved that little delivery from Casa and the villa to each other with the postcard. I thought that was a really, really fun twist, which wasn't really, it was like we saw it on season 6, if you remember, where Kaylor got a video
oh yeah.
that for of Erin with what's her face that she was crying and bawling, and I was hoping they would do something similar like that here, and I thought this was a fun way to do it.
Yeah, I agree. And then it was equal this time because it was both guys and the girls getting their
Hmm.
mail, so it made it interesting to see
The guys
from
might have gotten something too that season, but it wasn't anything
not the
as
same.
memorable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But do you think now Kata and Zach are going to stay together to the end?
Probably. I
Yeah.
don't think they're gonna win. I don't think enough people like Zach for them to win, but I think that they could easily make finale as a couple together. Like I think at this point, I don't think anything's going to break them up. And I would say that with a lot of these couples. I think that right now is where it's more of a situation of okay, how strong can you get your connection to be that you're currently in to the point where America is going to deem you the strongest couple and win the season. And that if there's more votes where the couples vote each other out, that they see each other as like a strong enough couple to be worthy of continuing on. So yeah, I don't know that there's going to be tons of like shifting of partners from here on out. So I think they've already proven themselves to be a long enough lasting and strong enough. They've already gone the hideaway and everything, and they chose each other here. Like, I think they're good for as long as they're able to stay in.
Yeah, I can see that as well. So we'll have to wait and see what happens the rest of the season. But now let's get into Sincere and Melanie. So when Sincere gets to Casa, he does form a strong connection with Amora, but he does say that he misses Melanie and still wants to fully explore with Amora. But I feel like that's just going right back to what he was doing with Soul, and his actions are just repeating themselves. And I feel like Melanie deserves better here. But Melanie does form a connection with someone else, with Ronnie in Casa for her. And then, or not with Corey. She starts talking with Ronnie, but then she talks with Corey, and then they start to form a better connection. And he tells her that she deserves better than Sincere, which obviously that is true. And then also, as we were saying, the picture, and Melanie gets to see the picture of Sincere kissing Amora, then she's confused why he would risk losing her again if they were in a good spot before going to Casa, but she's just in her head like, oh no, like it's fine, like trying to convince herself still like that he still wants her, even though he's fully kissing someone else.
I
Um,
love Melanie trying to convince herself that it was during a challenge. I'm like, they're in like the little room. What challenge forces them to kiss in the like bed? What?
I know that
But
was
it was funny.
crazy.
Like she knew she was being delusional.
I know
But
it was.
yeah, I mean, look, like you can take the soul ties out of the guy, but you can't take the guy out of or no, I messed that up. You can take the guy out of soul ties, but you can't take the soul ties out of the guy. Like he is going to cheat no matter where he is or no matter who it's with. And he is so like intent on fully exploring because he thinks that he's going to resent her if he feels tied down. And he just goes full force and for the sake of just exploring and being here, and he can use that as an excuse. And it just like he's never going to change.
No.
Like he is who he is, and he is going to constantly make Melanie just feel like he's going to change or that he is has always been thinking about her and they're meant to be, and look at all the history we have and everything we've gone through together, and like, but at a certain point she's going to have enough. And look, they are I don't think that they are going to break up before the season ends. I don't think they will still be together come reunion.
Yeah, I can see that. But they do choose to stay with each other. And when Sincere comes in, his speech was basically like, "Oh, I'm excited to be with like someone beautiful again." And then Melanie goes in on him and saying how he needs to be more trustworthy and all that she shared with him that obviously like we know how she should be feeling about it and then she still goes back with him. So that was pretty interesting to see that like she went in on him but then it's still decided to stay with him. Like I really wanted her to bring Corey back because I thought that they were cute
I
together.
didn't think she was going to. I
And
really, really didn't think she was going to, but I thought there was a chance that actually no, I really thought they were going to come back together. Like there was maybe a point where I kind of thought like is he going to bring Amora back? But Sincere and Melanie will be together like this whole time. Like
they're both the
nothing while they're
same
in the villa.
toxic.
Yeah, like until she gets a chance to see what the audience like has seen, I don't, and what he said behind her back, like I think once she can actually, maybe movie night could actually potentially change something if she can see it with her own eyes.
True.
What he has said to Soul, what he has said to Amora, like I think maybe seeing that all together, if they do kind of like a compilation of all the things he said to them, and then showing a scene of him saying the exact same thing to her, like maybe like seeing it with your own eyes will make her actually make a change. Other than that, if that doesn't change anything, like there's nothing that'll do it until she actually gets to be back with her family and away from him for a little while, and like they can kind of give her perspective.
Yeah, for sure. I know. I feel like she's gonna come to the conclusion eventually. Just might take some time.
Yeah, she has to do it in her own time. And like, it's like that thing where you're like, you see this couple like you're friends with, and they, you've seen them fight, you've heard from at least one of their perspectives of like, everything that's happened. And then they get back together and then they won't break up. And then like, it's like years and years go by and it's like you see it, but until they actually see, and you can tell them a million times, like, this isn't going to end well. Like you should get out before things. It's only going to get harder as time goes on. But until they see it for themselves, it's not going to happen.
Yep. So they'll eventually get there, I assume. But unless Sincere really changes his actions, which I don't know. But we'll have to see what will
And
happen.
it's so crazy because like she gives such good advice to the other girls, and like when she talks, like it makes perfect sense, and she's like so reasonable and rational, and like it's just like she has such good advice for everybody else and just can't take it for herself, it seems like some of the time.
I know. Unfortunately, she'll learn. She'll learn. Um,
Yeah.
but as Olivia Rodrigo said, past mistakes are new information. So she'll
Oh,
get
look
the.
at that.
That's in one of her new songs, Expectations. So
Wise words.
yeah. Well, we'll see what happens there. But let's move into some happier news with Trinity reuniting. So Bryce and Trinity both in Casa tried to explore a little bit, but they both are feeling like they don't have what they have in Casa, what they have with each other. So obviously then they came back together. But Trinity did connect with Corey the first night and they kissed in the photo booth. And then when Bryce saw that photo, he started to get a little bit worried about, oh no, is Trinity changing her mind? But it was just more of like in the moment thing. And then Trinity realized after that she just still wanted to be with Bryce the next day. So I think that it was right for them to be back together. Just all is right in the world, and when Bryce and Trinity are back together.
I love them so much. Like, can they just get married on the finale? Or, they're so cute. They're so adorable.
And to think you
And
said that they were the worst couple, and
oh my God, I know, I know, I know.
that's so funny.
It's so crazy to think back to that. I want to like at the end of the season watch back the premiere
Oh yeah,
because I think it would be so interesting with like to see now knowing where all these couples have gone, like just to see their first reactions and their first kind of interactions with each other as couples, like with Bryce and Trinity, it just felt like they were kind of stuck together and had no chemistry and were like maybe just better as friends, or Like, you just kind of waiting for a bombshell to come in that would tear them apart immediately. But they clearly knew something that we did not, because they have all the chemistry in the world and they are so, so adorable. And I love the fact that Bryce just very quickly, like, had talked with Sydney for a second and then just immediately knew, like, look, it's not the same. I miss Trinity. And he didn't lead anybody on. He didn't try to force himself to have more chats with people and kiss and form connections. Like, that's the difference between Bryce and Sincere, is that they both had something that were in a pretty good place going into Casa. And Bryce knew that immediately that he wanted Trinity and nobody else, and didn't try to push it. Whereas Sincere, like, I don't know if he forces himself to push it or just kind of doesn't have those same feelings about Melanie. Maybe, I don't know, he tells her he does, but then he just wants to have the full experience no matter what, and no matter what he has back there. And with Bryce, he cares enough about Trinity to and respects her enough to not do that. And, Trinity did kiss Corey in the photo booth, which maybe was not the best decision, but I think she very quickly after that also realized, I don't want to keep doing this. I miss Bryce. And so for the rest of the time, she slept in soul ties, and she was also very respectful to him. And then it was just a matter of time before they came back together. And they were both wearing better yellow,
I
which
know.
which now has better reputation after Amanda Petula ruined it for a short time.
Yeah, the butter yellow is back. I love butter yellow, so I'm happy it has better connotation now. But I'm sure. I mean, as of now, like prediction wise, like I'm sure they're gonna win just because of everyone's reactions to them. Like I feel like they're definitely the strongest couple. America just loves them the most. So the season can end right now and they would win. So
I was
it's
gonna say, like, this feels like a season of Big Brother where, like, it's just one person dominating the whole game, and it's like just a matter of time. There's just steamroll to the end. Like, that's kind of how it feels. But like, the thing about Love Island is it's not about
you
that,
don't care. Yeah, it doesn't matter who
right?
wins. It's just like it's
They'll get that
seeing.
in one brand deal,
Yeah.
$100,000. Like, who cares, really?
I know it's like so little amount of money, but it's still good. Um,
Mhm.
but we'll see how they continue to deepen their connection. I mean, I feel like we won't see as much of them though because they are so strong that they're gonna
Yeah,
focus on more of the other couples now, just because like they'll be a little bit more boring maybe, but we'll still get them because we get episodes every day except for Wednesdays and
yeah.
Saturdays. So
And look, like, who knows? There's 2 weeks left. Anything could happen. They could hit a roadblock. Something could happen between them, but I really hope not. And I don't anticipate that. Like, it would kind of be something coming out of nowhere.
yeah, I agree. Well, now let's end on the most
End on a
dramatic.
happy note, right?
Yeah. I guess it is a happy note. It's happy that Anaya can finally get what she deserves without Casey.
Yes.
So, Casey, as we see him exploring in Casa, he does form a stronger connection with Tierra, so brings her back to the villa. He does also chat with Sydney, but then decides he just wants to focus on Tierra. So that was very short lived with him and Sydney. But then Anaya in Casa also is trying to explore, which is good. I was glad. I was happy for her. She was exploring with Carl, and she really liked him, and was hoping things would still work out with Casey. So she still had Casey on her mind, even though she shouldn't have. But then Anaya does end up wanting to stay loyal to Casey, and since Casey did bring back Tierra, this leaves her single and vulnerable. And we get the whole fighting happening with Tierra and Trinity, and Casey's just standing there, like, just not saying too much, but can't really defend his actions because what he did was really bad with leading Anaya on and saying the things that he did in Casa was definitely not good. I feel for Anaya and that side of things, which she doesn't know it yet exactly what he said, but when she does find out, she will really hate him even more than she does right now.
Oh my God. The fact that he was saying, like, I have nothing in common with Anaya, like, all this stuff that's just so crazy to hear from somebody who just a couple weeks ago was saying, when I see a black woman, I think of you, and was saying all these beautiful things to Anaya. And just, they seemed like such a strong couple. And then for him to just go to Casa and completely disregard everything that they had because he was still upset that she didn't choose him the first night and that he was humiliated standing at the door with nobody on the other side. Like, that was night one. It
I
was
know.
night one. Everything that has happened since then has shown that she has chosen him when she had the opportunity every time she chose him. And for him to just completely forget about that and wanting to, I guess, like, get his revenge because he was still upset that she didn't immediately choose him is just crazy. And I don't know, like, a certain part of me feels bad for Tiara because she's defending her current man. I get it, but she needed to sit this one out
Yeah.
and just let Anaya, let the other girls say what they need to say to KC, get it all out. If it continues, like, if things are hostile every time in the villa that they are within 100 feet of each other, then sure, Tiara can say, like, hey guys, it's a little much, like, we have to coexist here, like, I can see her stepping in at that point. But in this moment, it's like a new housewife just trying to get in on things in the drama that you know nothing about, and all these people that have like a decade of history, and it's like, like, let's give them all time to just sort out their own issues. Like, that's what Tiara needed to do. But
Yeah.
this was incredible television.
Oh, I know. And especially in Naya's speech there, as she was saying, like she was kept on picking him and he never picked her, or this time at least he didn't pick her in that setting, which was really upsetting to see. And Carl standing over there tearing up, like watching this all happen. It was so sad to see
I
Carl.
never thought she was going to bring Carl back.
I
I
know.
never for a minute thought that. Like, it felt like she knew, like, he is a really good guy, but she couldn't get past Casey. But now,
Now,
if Carl does come back, I think that there is potential that she will fully invest in him and be able to not be thinking about Casey at the same time. Like, I think this was what she needed to fully be able to put her focus into Carl. I don't know if anything's going to happen there. Like, I think that he isn't. It seems like a really really great guy. I don't know that the chemistry is quite there between them, but maybe now it could be. Like, just because it wasn't, because she was maybe holding back a little bit. Maybe once she fully invests in him, I think that it's certainly possible. So I'm excited. I think there's no chance he doesn't come back,
yeah,
right?
no. I don't
So
know
I think
who
when he
else do
comes
you vote
back,
for anyone else. Yeah, when he comes back,
when he comes back,
because we got
yeah.
to vote on two bombshells to come back to the villa. So for the girls, it was between Amora and Sydney, and then for the guys, there were four of them. But Carl's the obvious choice there. So obviously voted for Carl to come back, and I think all of America did. So there's no
Mhm.
chance he's not there tomorrow night on the episode. So I'm excited to see that when he comes and returns back to the villa and can hopefully can form that strong connection with Anaya. We'll see what can happen there. But who did you bring back for the girl or vote to bring back for the girls?
I chose Amora because I wanted to see her and Melanie compare notes, and
Yeah.
potentially for Sincere to have to actually, like, see, like, have the two of them in front of Sincere and for him to actually answer for himself, and the things that he was, had told both of them, that he had probably is not telling Melanie, that he told things that he told Amora, or feelings that he had for her, kind of downplaying it. And so I want him to have to, like, be at movie night, see those clips, and then not only have Melanie there to answer to, but also have Amora there to be like, oh no, that's not what you said. Like, this is, like, this isn't the context that he's trying to say, oh, taken out of context, or whatever he's going to try to say. Like, oh, I'm just explaining. Like, I want her to also be there to, like, be someone who will not let him get away with downplaying everything that he said.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was debating between
Bring
the
Soul
two.
back too while we're at
Yeah.
it.
I ended up voting for Sydney, but I'm happy with either one of them. I just like
I
Sydney.
like Sydney. I just
Yeah.
don't know, who do you think Sydney would go for?
I think maybe she could still try with KC because like they kind of did have a connection. I don't know, but yeah, thinking about it now, I'm like I don't know who she'd actually want to be coupled up with. But
I wouldn't be mad at Casey being having a dilemma and
yeah,
having to try to have conversation with Sydney and then like have TT turn on him because of it. Like I could see there maybe that causing some drama for Casey, which I fully support
yeah,
as well, but I just didn't feel like that was as probable to happen. And
yeah,
then like it kind of felt like, okay, you bring Sydney back, but like then she's just kind of like a floater, like not really with anyone, and then just kind
mhm.
of immediately gets sent back home.
That's
I
fair.
don't know who Amora is going to go for either, really, necessarily. I don't know that I need sincere. The problem that I'm like thinking about now is that it could just be a complete repeat of the Soul situation. That like I don't know that I need to replay that for the
Yeah,
40th time, but I felt like at least it would bring some drama, even if she's not there for long. It would be more guaranteed drama.
yeah. Because I was thinking I was like, well, I kind of want to see what happens with Sincere and Melanie without an outside person there to influence that too. Like I want
True.
to see what will happen in their relationship, like to see if Sincere is honest about certain things or not, and then seeing how that could develop. But I mean, I think it's more likely that Amora is coming back, so we'll get to see her and sharing
Yeah,
notes with
I think
Melanie.
that's fair. But I think also we will, regardless, get that for at least a couple days because I would assume that it would be a couple days
uh,
before the vote results and whatever, and before they actually bring the Casa bombshells back that are coming back. So I think like we will get a period of time for Melanie and Sincere where they are just the two of them, and we'll see during that time period if he's honest with her or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I want Carl to be there right away. That's what I was hoping it would be for Sunday night's episode, but
I
I don't
know.
know if
I
it will
guess
be.
like okay, so the vote ends.
It
So
ended
they
at
did the vote immediately.
yeah, last night.
So it's possible that maybe it's just one night before Carl and either Amora or Sydney would come back,
Well, because
right? So like maybe it's
yeah,
not that long.
but then yeah,
It
maybe
would be
it's
for the Sunday episode
yeah. Well, because tonight's just gonna be after sun, so
after Sun.
but Sunday night's probably gonna be a lot of the aftermath of the after recoupling. So maybe it's Monday night when they come back.
That's what. So my original thought was that it would be Monday, but I think usually when there's a vote, like the next episode, we get the results. It only didn't happen that one time because the app crashed.
Okay. So then maybe it is tomorrow night's
So
episode.
it could be. I think
Yeah.
it could like end on like we'll see the aftermath. They'll go to the next day. We'll have like basically they'll have the entire next day
Yeah.
by themselves, and then that night
Yeah.
the bombshell will come back.
That's what I hope. And then and probably on like cliffhangers or whatever. And then we'll get it
Yeah,
for the next day.
yeah.
Okay.
We'll see them walk back in and get the immediate reactions, cut, and
Yeah.
then Monday it'll start with the aftermath of them coming back. So
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I'm
that's our
excited for it.
prediction. Yeah. That.
I think this season really is in its peak right now, and I am really, really, really excited for all the aftermath of this recoupling because
Yeah.
there's going to be quite a lot, and it's going to be good.
Yeah. We really needed a specific moment, as you were saying last week when we were
Hmm.
recording, that the season just didn't have a moment yet that was really memorable. This episode, that was the moment. Like we got a lot.
100%. And that's why season 6 is so special because the we got an episode. I need to rewatch it to say whether this was better than season six's recoupling, because with
Uh,
that you get the Serena flipping off Cordell, you
oh yeah.
get Kaylor, Aaron thinking that Kaylor stayed loyal to him and then revealing that she just wanted to remain single. Like you get some really great moments there too. I think this might have topped it. But season 6 is so special because that wasn't the only moment. Like
Yeah.
you also had the Andrea dumping, you also had all these other stuff. So like that's special in its own right. But I think this season for me now is like right neck and neck with season 7,
Hmm.
and I think like I think season 7 is more toxic for sure all the way through. I don't know if that brings it up or down though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying this season now, especially because of this and all the drama that we're gonna get to see unfold and continue. Hopefully, with the Naya and Casey still fighting with each other. Hopefully, we get a Naya, or maybe not fighting, but just a Naya standing up for herself more and showing that. And hopefully, the girls can get along because I don't like when the girls fight always. But having the Casa girls in there, it's gonna cause drama there, obviously too, as we already saw that. So it's gonna be interesting dynamics now to see like Casa girls versus OG girls or Billet girls. I guess they're not all OGs, but
Mhm.
almost all. And so that's gonna be a fun dynamic to see with the guys there also. So I'm looking forward to it this next week of Love Island. So make sure you're listening in on our podcast each week. We'll be covering it until the end of the season. So make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcasts at Let's Chat Reality and follow us on social media. Also, Let's Chat Reality everywhere. So thanks so much for listening, everyone, and we'll chat with y'all again soon.
Bye, everyone.